What's up, people? I think one of the number one things I hate most about YouTube right now is that every single video tends to have some life story in the beginning of it, and the thumbnail and title has nothing to do with what's in the actual video. Well, this is not one of those videos, so I'm literally about to get right into it. I just really felt like I need to make that point. Okay, this is one of the videos that I wish I was able to find when I was starting my editing career, because again, a lot of people like to talk about themselves and give a bunch of blanketed generic advice. And again, this is not that video, so let's run it. So step one is if you are just starting out as an editor and you don't have a lot of experience and honestly you don't really know where to start, the first thing is I'm sure you follow a bunch of people that you look up to as editors or creators on social media. Here's exactly what I want you to do with that. What I did was download their specific video and I literally tried to recut it up myself so I could, one, teach myself Premiere Pro, but two, understand kind of their thought process and what it was they were doing. The easiest way to do this is either download music videos, but now that we have such an explosion of short form content, just download some creators' reels that you've seen and been like, okay, here's how they did it. Now I need to see what it looks like on a timeline, so then I could just go recreate the clips and then technically you would have a viral video. Now, would I ever tell you to go fucking copy and steal someone's content? Absolutely not. This is all behind the scenes just so you understand how to start piecing shit together and start creating shit on your own that obviously is doing well and is really gonna kind of put you in the next level of creating. A super quick example of this, aside from just creating content, Travis Scott, before he blew up, there's a documentary of him and whatever, he talks about doing this exact same thing just with beats. So this is where I initially got the idea when I was creating myself. I was like, okay, well, if he's doing that and he's at the level he's at now, I should just start doing that myself, and honestly it worked like a charm. So there you go. Number two, do not obsess over a creative style that you do not have yet. Straight out of the gate, I hear so many editors trying to be like, dude, I just want to create like a really unique style of my own, and like, I don't know, dude, I've seen this guy, and like, fuck all that. That is never gonna get you anywhere, and the only way to actually develop that style is to just put in a shitload of reps. This is gonna be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, dude. When I started out, I really wanted to edit one like Roy Kramer. Okay, so I started picking out things in his videos that I really liked, and honestly those were like transitions, and even some of the text was okay, but a lot of it was just transition based and how the camera actually moved and what the cuts looked like. So once I started to realize, okay, this is what I liked, when I started shooting my own projects, I didn't try to go copy Roy Kramer. I just tried to implement the things that I liked in his videos, in my videos, which inevitably helped me create the style that I have now. So you see how it's not just a copy and paste process, it's go find things that inspire you and be like, okay, I'm gonna implement that into my video, and then time after time after time, that's what develops your own style. Numero tres, do not buy a course on editing. Everything that you need is on either here or just the internet in general. You can find everything for free. The only thing that a course might do is help speed up your process of learning, but also if you are gonna invest that money, I would argue this is the way that I would do it. I would either try to work with a creative hands-on with them directly in the editing process, rather than trying to do everything on your own and then buy a course that also inevitably is just gonna leave you on your own. When I worked early on in college on like my first couple projects where I was just hungry as fuck and just trying to stack shit over and over, I found a kid that was also editing, and honestly, he was a lot better than me. So it was humbling to just go out and be like, yo man, like, can I just edit with you for a day? Or like, can I just see what your process looks like? He's really cool about it. He was like, yeah, fuck you, of course. Like, I don't care, whatever. That's somebody else that can help me for free, sure. So I jumped in on a couple of his projects, which then I got to see how his style unfolded. And I was like, oh dude, I never would have thought to cut this clip here with that and whatever. So then I started expanding and learning from someone directly. That is the really only way I would argue in anything, especially nowadays, rather than a lot of money grabs of just, here's some fucking basic advice, here's the $1,000 that you're gonna have to pay for it, rather than just find people that you can network with in your own little circle and learn from them. And just the last point on this is just, again, you've got to get your reps in. So figure out whatever projects you can get your hands on. And even if those projects are not inevitably what you wanted to do. Remember, I studied Roy Kramer, and that's who I was really obsessed with. So for me to be shooting sorority videos was obviously not me shooting for the Chainsmokers or creating videos for them, right? But I was able to take some of those edits and whatever, which you're seeing now, that's like implemented all from Roy's videos, and I was able to use some of those same styles, whether it's speed ramps, transitions, like match cuts, and then audio dropping out, whatever it is, right? But at least I was able to get that experience rather than immediately being like, well, that's not a fucking EDM video, so I'm not gonna shoot that. Like, you gotta just take those steps first. They suck, but like, you gotta fucking do it. Step number 4. This is a big one. Excuse me. You definitely wanna optimize your shooting process, because inevitably whatever you do on the front end is gonna affect your back end. So here's literally the strategy that I use with myself, but more importantly with clients and anybody that I edit for, because inevitably this is a business, and if you're watching this, that's probably what you wanna do from this, is not just fucking edit passionately for the rest of your life. You probably wanna make some money. So here's exactly how I do that. The biggest and most important thing right now, just with content, well, no, it's not true. The most important type of style, the most popular style of content right now is obviously a talking head video just like this, right? So the first thing I do with most clients is nail down that final script. And whether that's actually writing that out or just filming that and then throwing it into my editor first. So then now when I go into my project in Premiere Pro, I can see a full laid out timeline of exactly what is going to be said in this video. So that's step 1. Following up, step 2 then would be to find those points that can easily be made into a visual representation of what I'm saying. So for example, I'm gonna use a video I did for TikTok that was basically about how to structure a good hook to help you obviously get more views. So once I laid out this entire project, I knew that I had 3 really big examples of hooks, right? Which is gonna be a verbal hook, a visual hook, and a text hook. So then I was like, okay, creatively, now that I know that I have all this in my editor, I'm gonna go shoot B-roll for it second. So what's gonna happen here is you script everything first, get that down first, then go shoot your B-roll and then edit everything together. So, well, you put the B-roll on top, whatever, right? That process is exactly what I use for any YouTube video, any YouTube client, any short form content, any business I work with. I use it every single time. And adding to this, and this becomes the coolest part of this, remember how I said you probably wanna make money from this? Well, when you start to do this, inevitably you're gonna have your hands on scripting, but also technically creative directing and finding those B-roll shots and being like, I think it'd be sick if you ran up a hill and sat in a chair and pointed up when the text shows up on screen, right? Now you're a creative director, you're also producing, you have a lot of different titles. So now your rate is not just base rate as, oh, well, I'm just an editor. Now you're doing this, this, and this, so your rate constantly goes up and you have more to offer. Once you do this over time, then you start offering packages, whatever. That's a whole nother fucking video, but now you're starting to get it. Now you're starting to see how this develops into a real business. All right, number 5, I've got to get into some boring shit. You got to organize your shit and you got to do it well. Organize it consistently the same way too. I'll basically create folders within folders within folders and make sure everything is super organized, all for one video specifically. So I also will stack assets in a specific place. I have a folder called Acid Byte, which is pretty much the asset pack that I use for everything. I also have sound design, so that's all in a specific place. I have videos that I've ripped B-roll wise from YouTube that is also in a different place. I use 4K video downloader for that, so those are a couple places and shit that you can look at to help you with production. I'll get into a little bit more of that later, but the biggest thing is organization, but also organizing not just your files, but shit inside of your project. I do this the same way every single time. I have an adjustment layer here, and then I basically will map out whatever it is I'm gonna need for a client or for myself. Typically, it's gonna be sound design, a soundboard, obviously my clips, what project I'm on, this, that, and the other. So that organization is massively important. So this kind of leads me into number 6, but whatever. It kind of does, it kind of doesn't, but whatever. Number 6 is you've got to make sure that you're optimizing your sound design as an editor. So many people are so quick to just focus on, I got to make sure I've got the best shot. I've got to make sure I've got like the smoothest, cleanest, butteriest B-roll ever. Like that's important, but on the flip side of that coin, which you should be spending just as much time as you are on the cinematic side, is also literally making sure your sound design is absolutely absurd. I really lacked in this in the beginning, and then I started to realize, holy shit, even if I have 10 clips with no transitions, nothing, they're just well-composed shots, and I'm able to bring that shot to life with sound design, That's the difference between a shitty editor and a fucking really good one. And that will bring your videos to like, dude, that right there will make your videos like not go viral, but like I guarantee you will see an uptick in all of your videos, whether it's social media or YouTube related, including that sound design. Sorry, I've been running my yapper, hold on. Including that sound design is actually just, it is so underrated. It's not talked about enough, it really isn't. So if you take anything away from this video, aside from the business lessons, that is a huge one, please. All right, number 7 is gonna be invest in a good LUT pack. I'm actually gonna do you a really big solid because nobody fucking did this for me. So I figured I'm gonna kill that legacy before it continues on. I'm gonna give you a LUT pack, so just go in the description of this video. I've kind of handcrafted these and just mix and match with them and figure out what works best for you on your projects. Some are cinematic, some are good for just talking head like this or whatever. But what I will say, I'm not gonna beat this point to death. Obviously a good color correction pack is really important because as an editor, you don't wanna spend too much time color correcting. You just kinda wanna be able to, have your output be pretty quickly. That doesn't make sense. You kinda want your output to be quick. And if you spend too much time color grading, you're never gonna get there. You're just gonna obsess over one frame, fuck that. So take these LUTs as you will, and then the biggest thing here too is never fucking use a LUT on 100%. Just never do that. Literally drop it down to 50 and then try to make that color that is generated, the palette generated in that LUT, look as normal and natural as possible. For example, if I color corrected this video like this, you would be like, bro, what the fuck? What in the Sam Colder did you just try to do with your colors? But if I color graded this video this way, right? You'd be like, wow, Dimitri, that's so fucking beautiful. I also, let me just say this, I do have a, what's that fucking filter, man? The, whatever, it's for light. It's a diffusion, I think, or it's a mist. Oh, it's a pro mist. Oh my God. Oh my God, okay. All right, let me run that back. I have a pro mist filter on here, so it's gonna make things look a little smoother, lighter, airier, whatever, just for fun. It's a little cinematic twang or whatever. But all that aside, this is what the raw image looks like. So I'll flip back and forth as I'm continuing to talk about this, just so you can see how simple a good color grade actually is. So the main point here, don't blow this shit out, get creative with it, but don't turn that up too much. All right, next point. Let me reference my notes real quick. I want to make sure I was just staying sort of on topic here. All right. This might, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people have the wrong idea here. So I'm going to give it to you straight. This is exactly what I did. And it worked. Do not fucking work for free. All right, number 8. I consolidated my thoughts here. Here's the biggest thing. Once you are at a place where you've got your reps in and you are technically launching your business, you do not fucking work for free. I don't care if your next project is $20, that's still $20 that you made and you got paid for your work. Alex Hormozi fucked everyone up when he was like, oh, I'm never gonna hire somebody to fucking edit my videos. They'll just do it for free because the lessons they're gonna learn from it. Fuck all that shit. That is literally just elites getting out of having to pay for work. That's it. There's nothing else to that. So absolutely fuck that. Your time is valuable. You've put in the work. Your work is probably better than 90% of the people that would do it themselves anyway. So offer and quote a rate. That's it. There's no way around that. And then honestly, the business model here is as soon as you land 10 clients at that first rate, your rate goes up. And let's say the next 8 you land, have no problem paying that rate. Your rate goes up again. This is how you consistently scale, and this is inevitably how you start to build a business. Because once you get to a certain point, you're not gonna be able to handle all that work yourself. You might have to hire, but if you're getting paid $5,000 for, I don't know, 5 videos or 10 videos, whatever it is, hiring is just fine. It's a good idea. So fuck all the work for collabs, fuck all that free shit. Everybody's just trying to hit a lick for free, and we are not playing that game over here at Dimitri Has Ideas. So that's a wrap, because I could honestly go on and on and on about this, but that is the video I wish I would have seen a long time ago. I truly hope you resonate with it. If you don't, feel free to comment. If you do, feel free to fucking comment too. It doesn't matter to me, but at the end of the day, I hope it just pushes you in the right direction, and maybe this is the video you needed to help obviously turn you into a real editor and get your feet from dragging the fucking ground. So yeah, that's it. Have a great fucking day. Go be great.